Chapter 6494. He tried to control his left hand and found that the small left hand could actually make any movements at will. This made him extremely excited. He couldn't help but said excitedly, "Sir, this elixir is really amazing. The hand that is completely cut off can actually grow back again. Which is incredible." Charlie nodded and asked him with a smile, "I gave you such a precious elixir? Shouldn't you also express your gratitude?" John quickly said, "Sir, please tell me anything. As long as I can do it, I will do it at all costs." At this time, John had already thought it through. Since the man in front of him could give him such a precious elixir for nothing, he would definitely not threaten his life. The biggest purpose of giving him the elixir should be to turn him against himself and make him his insider. Or directly be loyal to him like those cavalry guards he took away. If he wants to make him an insider, then he will pretend to agree with him. If he wants to take me away, then he will fool him and make him think that it is more valuable to keep him in the warrior's den as an insider. In short, if he stabilizes him first and then trick him into leaving, he will get a pill for nothing. Although he didn't see his appearance today, he has met him and had contact with him. As long as he gets through this level, he can investigate and track his whereabouts after he leaves. Maybe he can find out his true identity and make great achievements in front of the Lord. Charlie knew his background. He couldn't persuade such a person to rebel no matter what. Even psychological hints were meaningless. So he didn't really want to bribe him. So, he smiled and said, "I don't need your help. But since I'm here, please help me tell Victoria a message." When John heard this, he was relieved. At this time, his left hand had grown to the size of a baby. And it was still growing at a speed visible to the naked eye. He was so excited that he quickly said to Charlie, "Don't worry, sir, just tell me what to say. I will definitely deliver it without missing a word." Charlie smiled and said, "Don't worry. Wait until your left hand grows out completely." John looked at his left hand with excitement. His left hand had grown like a teenager of 16 or 17 years old. This speed was really jaw-dropping. After waiting for about another minute, his palm was almost the same size as before, and the wound had completely disappeared. No one who didn't know the inside story could tell that this hand had been cut off. John was extremely excited. Looking at his intact left hand, he said excitedly, "Thank you, sir, for your kindness." "Thank you." Charlie hummed, stood up, and said, "Since your left hand has recovered, it's time for me to go. You have something to tell Victoria." John hurriedly said, "Please tell me." Charlie said, "Tell her that one day, I will kill her with my own hands. And then order a 1:1 bronze statue. And let her kneel in front of Warren's tomb to atone for her sins." John was immediately surprised and thought to himself, "It turns out that this guy is related to Maria. The one we are looking for, Lord. No wonder he is so much against the warrior's den." Afterward, he quickly agreed and said, "Don't worry, sir. I will definitely convey it to you." The reason why Charlie mentioned Warren was mainly to confuse Victoria. After all, now is not the time to expose himself. Although he met John today, he not only disguised himself, but also wore a mask to cover himself. Even if the other party investigated, they would not be able to find any valuable clues. Seeing John readily agreed, Charlie smiled and asked him, "You must be very happy that your severed hand has grown back, right?" John could not hide his joy, nodded, and said, "To be honest, I'm really happy." Charlie nodded, and the corners of his mouth suddenly passed through an intriguing arc.